Right, and we should now be live. Hello, everybody. Let me just turn the music on. There we go. And I'm just going to turn the desktop audio down so everyone can hear me properly. Let me know if any volumes need to be louder or quieter. And yeah, welcome to the usual Sunday Triclaw stream and a little bit of a different stream. We are returning back to the big plan that we were all making. Oh, blimey, I think it was back before Christmas, sometime in November, I think. Where we were planning what we think Jurassic World Evolution 3 should have in it if it gets made. And we made quite a lot of progress, and I thought it would be a good idea to return to it. Since we've got a lot more subscribers and stuff now, so we've got a lot more new ideas. So I'm not going to go back over all the things we've already got because that would take too much time. So if people just mention stuff we've already got, I'll just point it out. But honestly, people should just people want to throw me just general ideas. But there are 4 different areas that we've got for this plan. We've got the gameplay section, the creatures section, the design elements section, so that's things like how the game is going to look and what tools we're going to have, and then anything else like DLCs or additional features. That's how we're separating off this plan. So yeah, basically throw ideas in the chat and we'll go from there. So any ideas at all? Because we did get quite a lot done last time. I think when it came to creatures, we were a bit short. Although the one thing I do need to do is remove Dinosaurs from here because we now have Dinosaurs, so that can go in our returning section. Because I'm pretty sure people would want Dinosaurs to return. But yeah, hello Barga, CNES Dracosaurus, hello. And hello to anyone else in chat. And yeah, this isn't going to be like gameplay or anything. We're going to be building our preferred game. So, yeah, shout ideas. Just going to move my mic slightly. Just having a look to see what else needs to be changed, if anything, before people give me too much to do. Remember, this thing only works if people actually talk in chat, so I think the Nyctosaurus would be nice because of that unique crest. So that's a new pterosaur to come. Yeah, I agree, Nyctosaurus. It's one of those more unique pterosaurs, so I definitely think Nyctosaurus would be worth having for sure. Hello, Caleb. More dinosaur animation. So we were discussing dinosaur animations up here, I think, somewhere. Where did we talk about dinosaur animations? There. So any specific dinosaur animations you think, Blobfish? We've got pterosaurs should all be able to walk and should mostly fly by gliding and less flapping. Dinosaurs should react to certain weather events. All dinosaurs should be able to defend themselves, and all dinosaurs should be able to swim. So any other animations in there you think that we need? CNES Dracosaurus. My hopes are more hybrids, to be honest, and custom hybrids. So yep. So with the hybrids, we've got the hybrids coming back, but we've also got the hybrid mode, which we've got working like the Jurassic World Evolution 2 amenity system. So basically you have a pre-selection of animals and bits of those animals to choose for your own hybrid. So yeah, good idea, CNES Dracosaurus. It's exactly the same idea that I would have. Or a Halloween DLC that adds chaos effect dinosaurs. I like the idea of a Halloween DLC. Let's put that in. So, Actually, to be fair, I like the idea of like seasonal DLCs in general. So let's add that in. Because a lot of games, especially building games, you have seasonal DLCs. So obviously Halloween can go in there. What would you expect to have in a Halloween DLC? What do we think? Let's not because so you mentioned Chaos Effect dinosaurs. The problem with the Chaos Effect dinosaurs is that their copyright would be owned by someone external to Frontier, so I'm not sure they would be able to do the Chaos Effect dinosaurs. Don't know. Let me know. What do you think should be in a Halloween DLC? Concavinator as a new species. Yep, got Concavinator already. A franchise mode similar to Planet Zoo. Explain what you mean by that, Rex King, because I haven't played Planet Zoo, so I don't quite know how that works. I have an idea for a pack being a prehistoric Europe pack. So this would be a dinosaur pack then. What would you have in your prehistoric Europe pack? Prehistoric Europe. Bump. Just trying to make sure we've got enough space for everything here at the moment. Better sea reptile feeding animations and some idle animations for them. Yeah, that for me is one of the biggest areas where Jurassic World Evolution 2 sort of fails at the moment. Is that, you know, the aquatic animals were nice to have in the game, but because they have no animations, they basically just swim around and eat. That's all they do. So I agree that they definitely need to have animations, and that's one area that I'm actually going to be discussing in my next video. So let's do this. So aquatics should have unique social and feeding behaviors, as well as idle behaviors. Yep, I fully agree with that one. To be honest, I do expect at some point us to get those animations for Jurassic World Evolution 2. I just think that they're taking their time with it because they've got so many other more important things to be doing. That would include Neovenator, Europrosaurus, Platyosaurus, and Balor. Okay. So prehistoric Europe would feature Neovenator, Europrosaurus, Platyosaurus, and Balor. I'm not sure on the Platyosaurus being in there, to be honest, because I think Platyosaurus should be in the base game. I think one of the biggest problems with Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 is that we have basically no Triassic period animals, really, apart from a couple. So I think we need more Triassic period animals in general. Franchise mode requires players to play online due to the unique aspect of this mode. Player trade in the animal market lets players buy animals from other players for their zoo. That's an interesting... See, because oddly enough, that we do have in additional features Steam Workshop. So I'm going to put that as an additional feature. And we'll have here online mode. And we'll have like unique building / market where where players can sell / trade dinosaurs for their parks. It's an interesting idea, especially it would work to get your park species that perhaps you wouldn't be able to get hold of normally. So I like that idea. Maybe adding in new creepy hybrids based off Chaosophobo and new and original dinosaurs, for example, Dracorex and Troodon. Well, obviously, if we're going to have making our own hybrids, that you could have those animals as options. Let's, under our hybrids thing here, let's just have a new bit. I mean, if there's any specific hybrids that are named that are, have been added by other games and such, let me know. And we'll put them in. Oh, for the Halloween DLC. Yeah, let me think about that one. Another idea would be to add lethal rounds to the helicopter. So I think this one was actually mentioned in the security gameplay section. Oh, challenge? No. Unique buildings. Decorations. Tools. Oh, okay. No one had meant. I swear. Oh, there. Security. So, we'll put in another additional here. So, lethal forms of rifle. Actually, again, there's another thing I'm going to be mentioning in my next video, which hopefully I'm going to start making tomorrow, so we should be out by Wednesday, hopefully. Playable dinos. Like, you can pull a manticore and chip a dino to control them to have fun or fight. Actually, I like that in a different idea. I like that as a tool, so where we can... So I like the idea of having the ability to pick a dinosaur and force it to play any animations. Because that's something that's like a primarily, like, I take a lot of screenshots. And sometimes it would be nice to be able to, like, force a dinosaur to do a particular animation so that you can take a screenshot of it doing that particular animation, like deliberately make it fight with a member of its species, or deliberately make it try to escape. I like the ability of being able to do that. Seasons would be cool in the game instead of just random weather. I think under environmental we had that. I know we had random weather. Okay, so we'll put this one down as seasons for the game year. I actually think something that should have already been implemented is a game, like, is a year system for the game, because it can be very disorientating sometimes to not know just like sort of how many years have actually gone past. And I think it would also be beneficial to connect the dinosaur's lifespan to that period of time. So I think we definitely need to have a date system. So I think that has to go in gameplay, and I think that's going to have to go in just a random one here. Year and date system with gameplay features connected to it. Okay. Maybe for attractions, a walkway that certain dinosaurs like medium and small would be allowed under. I think under our path tool we actually had... yep, so viewing paths, guests can view from paths. Paths can create tunnels for lagoons or cage walkways through aviaries. Paths can also make tunnels through terrain. Basic bridges / walkways. Okay. Possible hybrid Maulosaurus, Scorpius Rex and Demonis Rex and Indoraptor is actually a hybrid that's been added by something, because that just sounds so overpowered. An idea for a free update around Christmas that would add Nanukosaurus and Norwegian themed decorations. So that's free update stuff, isn't it? So let's put this under here. Free updates. So this is Xmas. And oops. So we're saying what adds Nanukosaurus. Yeah. Adds Xmas trees, Xmas decks. I like that. I mean, personally, I think there should be that anyway, to be honest. So, I think Chaos Theory should return, but be expanded with more scenarios. It shouldn't be a scenario per movie, but multiple scenarios. What did we have for Chaos Theory? We didn't actually have Chaos Theory come back. Or rather, I think we were going to call it Alternative Parks instead. So have multiple chaos theories for each movie. Okay. I mean, to me, Chaos Theory was one of the biggest disappointments of the newest game as well. I should probably make a video about that at some point. Actually, I think I already have. I have made a video discussing Chaos Theories. Random, but I want the roller coaster from the Telltale Jurassic Park game. So again, one of the problems with that is that they don't... Frontier would not own the rights to do anything in the Telltale game. That's held by Telltale Games themselves. I do think under attractions, we did have basic rides under attractions, merry-go-rounds, bumper cars. I'll put in maybe a small roller coaster, because obviously one of the problems with this is that we don't want the game to become basically Planet Coaster. So the next Isle update is already in stress test, so we can expect it to be out in 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, well, if it is, basically, I am literally waiting. I haven't played the Isle because I'm waiting for the next update to come out, because it's going to add species I actually want to play as, like Ceratosaurus and stuff. So when it does come out, I will probably be streaming it, yes, eCats, don't worry. And also, hello, yes. Hello, Evolution Spinosaurus. Mutant dinosaurs, also for the Halloween DLC, like a T-Rex with an underbite or a Velociraptor with an extra... I mean, for me, I think we're missing an obvious avenue here for the Halloween update. And I'm just going to put it in here, because it was actually a cheat on Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. And this was undead dinosaur skins. So in Jurassic Park Operation Genesis, you could activate a cheat, which would give all of the animals their like dead skins. Because when they died, they got a unique skin, like showing off their ribs and stuff. And it was really cool. So you could have a park of undead dinosaurs. So I think that's like a really obvious avenue to go for a Halloween DLC. Like have some of the dinosaurs have like undead skin variations. And I also like the idea of like of the mutant skins as well. I think a Permian double pack that would add only 2 animals but be half the price of normal pack of those. Animals being Gorgonops and Chachyolopterus. Where is our animals section? Because we did have a non-Mesozoic section, and the only one that we got in there at the moment is Dimetrodon. I kind of think the Gorgonopsids, well, at least a species of Gorgonopsid, because obviously the big one is Gorgonopsid. The big one is Inos. I can never pronounce his name. Inostransevia, something like that. That's the biggest one. What we tend to think of as the definitive Gorgonopsid. So I think that should be in the game anyway. Who remembers Jurassic Park Builder and Mobile? I vaguely remember it as being one of those mobile games that people that had just a desire to keep tapping on the screen would play. I know how you feel, CNES. Evrima itself even pushes my PC, and I have a 3050 GTX. And I can only just about scrape it to do 40 frames a second. And I get so much lag in some places as well. They really need to optimize it. Titanoboa. See, I don't understand this obsession with Titanoboa that people have. It's just a big snake. Like, what's so impressive about that? Convince me, just a dishwasher, that Titanoboa should be in game. Insotransevia. Yes, Wolfbrooks, thank you. Insotransevia, yes. I'm actually going to put that straight in there. So, Insotransevia. There we go. Like for the Halloween DLC is just for realistic in the JWE game universe. I mean, obviously there's other stuff we could add into a Halloween DLC. We could obviously have like pumpkin decorations. All movie species should return, obviously. So, all movie species should return. Well, I actually would disagree with you there, because I think there are some movie species that probably we could leave out. Actually.
Okay.
Rex King. If not a Gorgonopsid, then Moschops. How much moss can a Moschops chop if a Moschop must chop moss? Very good, CNES. I like that. I love snakes, that's why. Well, I don't think that's a good enough argument to include it in Jurassic World Evolution 3, just a dishwasher. I think we need actual reasons to have these species. I mean, one of the biggest problems with having like a Titanoboa is that it doesn't move like any of the existing animations or anything like that. So the Titanoboa itself would have to have its own animation rig and everything else. And if you're going to only have it for one animal, because Titanoboa is basically, there aren't many other prehistoric snakes that would be worth having. It wouldn't be worth it in terms of work to make an animation rig for something that one animal is going to have. Don't worry about the background noise, by the way. That's Dame playing D&D. Do not bring back the Jurassic World Dominion Giga. It's hideous. That surprises me, Barger. I thought everyone liked the Jurassic World Dominion Giga. I thought the problem we all had with the Giga was the fact that we hated the Frontiers version of it. Semi-aquatic species are a must, and deep diving for Spinosaurus, Baryonyx, and Suchomimus. So I think we actually had a deeper water option being mentioned, and we did also have dinosaurs should be able to swim. So we've kind of covered both of those. But obviously those are returning animals that I think we need to put in. So Baryonyx and Suchomimus. I'm also going to make a decision here, and the Baryonyx should be the website version of the Baryonyx, not the hideous version we ended up with. I don't understand why they made that really cool, accurate-looking Baryonyx and gave us... Whoops, I saw Baryonyx one. And gave us a really rubbish one instead. I like the base game Giga more than the movie skin. That is really surprising, Perger. I think you're in the minority of people there. But we are mentioning Giga, so I suppose we ought to have Giganotosaurus in here. Maybe we should just say a redesign in general. So, like, maybe not have the Dominion skin as the base version, but maybe just do a redesign of the Giganotosaurus there. Biodomes, like where you can put normal dinosaurs in aviaries. I like that idea. And we could also link that into, you know, the fact that we've got seasons now and dinosaurs are going to react to the weather. So maybe for some dinosaurs you're going to have to be more careful about their exposure to the elements. So that is kind of like a system, but it's also kind of like a environmental. I don't know actually where to put that in here. Because it's also under... Oh, I suppose we could put it under the creatures section of this. So let's just do a little bit of moving around here. So we've got new diet options. Small herbivores don't scare guests. And we want dinosaurs can be negatively affected by weather. Game should have a biodome system for this. It's kind of like a combination of things, and we'll put that there, and then over here, unique buildings. So biodomes for dinos. Okay, lovely. Maybe make the Giga not just look like a generic theropod and give it some of the traits the real-life animal had. Yeah, I mean, that's what they should be doing in general anyway. Cenozoic species, says Rex King. Can you give me some examples? The ability to connect lagoons to enclosures, like giving a Spinosaurid a pool or a Dinoceras a large pond where it can swim. So we've already got under the tools section deep water terrain tool, so that would basically cover that, CNES. For marine reptiles, as well as Caleb, for the marine reptiles, as well as some attack animations on pterosaurs. So, given that sea creatures are going to be limited to their lagoons and pterosaurs will be limited to their aviaries, I don't understand why marine reptiles should have attack animations on pterosaurs, because the two are never going to be able to share the same area. Unless we're going to have them share the same area, in which case that would be a lot of problems with that. Possibly adding in a subspecies category of editing, like normal Allosaurus fragilis being a medium size and maximum species Mixosaurus. Ah, see, Cenas, you've hit upon a thing there. Maybe we could have so tools, we've got skins, we've got a skin system in game. I like the idea of us being able to choose model variants based on their real life species, such as a fragilis and a maximus. That's a good idea. Good point, Rex King. Oh, that was in reference to Cenozoic species. Siamosaurus would be a cool addition to the base game that could look like the accurate Spino, while the Spinosaurus is the JP3 Spino. But at the same time, we could have the accurate Spino as a model variant of the normal Spinosaurus. Smilodon, some kind of terror bird, woolly mammoth, and Paraceratherium. Would we have those in the base game, or would we have that as a DLC pack, Rex King? Because I think it could be a DLC, or it could also be in the base game. So I think we'd need to decide on that. Better guest models. I don't think anyone mentioned guests. Guests. No, those are just guests. Oh, guests. Here we go. Guest needs and guest types, as well as including children. So yeah, what do you mean by better guest models, Bobfish? In my opinion, they should, if they add Cenozoic creatures, they should add stuff that would fit in more like birds and reptiles. Cenozoic expansion. See, I like the idea of a Cenozoic expansion. So again, this would be another, not necessarily a dinosaur pack, but let's say animal pack. And let's have... Oh, do you mean like a Cenozoic expansion as like a really big DLC that, you know, doesn't just add animals, but does a load of other stuff as well? Because that actually makes more sense, actually, thinking about it. So let's just move... Let's try and get some more space here, because these are basically packs, specific packs. Building styles. That was one of Neuron's, I believe. Seasonal DLCs. So we got Halloween. Free updates. So I think having an actual Cenozoic expansion would be a good idea, and then we can figure out what we're going to have in that in a sec. I think a prehistoric crocodilian pack would be nice. So that's basically things like Dinosuchus, Chasmatosaurs, that sort of thing. I mean, to be honest, I think given the fact we're going to have a deep water tool, I think we should have one of those in-game anyway. So, it's not really an aquatic, it's like a semi-aquatic. So, let's just give a Mesozoic. It's nice to see people coming up with so many new ideas as well. So, Dinosuchus. I think Dinosuchus is one that should probably just be in the game to begin with, because there's so much interest in that. And again, the animation rigging for it would be fairly similar to normal dinosaurs, so it wouldn't be that far off. The ability to change lagoon water from salt to fresh to Mediterranean. I'm not... oh, right, so fresh being safe for semi-aquatics to drink. Again, I think the deep water tool that we already have, you wouldn't need to use the lagoons for semi-aquatic animals. The deep water tool is there to enable you to make a normal enclosure for them. So again, that specific ability for the lagoons would be kind of negated by the deep water tool we've already got. Mammoth meatball. Oh, gross. Ugh. Could be a free update that adds deep water to the... So again, deep water we've already got, Barger. Hello, Baryonyx. Building sets from Jurassic World Evolution 2 should return. Bias in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Malta, and DFW. Okay, so buildings. And building... Oops, building sets. I think we would have to do some additional work on them. So return of JP, JW, Biasin, Malta, and there's another one, isn't there? And DFW, with every building having an era variant. You know, because at the moment it's a little annoying, like if you're trying to build like a Malta specific park or Biasin specific park, and there are some buildings that just don't have a Malta or Biasin skin to them. The amenities, for example, you can't make the amenities look like they should be in Malta or they should be like Biasin versions. So, those building sets should be definitely expanded. You could get Saurosuchus in the base game. Saurosuchus is pretty similar to Dinosuchus, though. It's just slightly smaller. If I was going to put another one in there, I would go with a Chasmatosaur. Because Chasmatosaurs are a lot more primitive looking and are better on the land than necessarily they are in the water. So I think Saurosuchus would be one that we would potentially have in a animal pack. So let's put that in there. Let's call it the semi-aquatic pack, because that way we could have not just crocodilians in there. And then that could mean that we have Saurosuchus. Any other semi-aquatics that we think we could have in a semi-aquatic pack? We need 4. So we've got Saurosuchus. What else could we have in there? In hybrids, add Spinoceratops. I haven't even seen this Spinoceratops. Camp Cretaceous. Spinoceratops, question mark. Different types of lagoon fish feeders and more feeders in over. Oh. So we've got under animal enrichment, we've got fence-based feeding stations. We've got new diet options, including options for omnivores to be insectivores and insectivores themselves. Different types of lagoon fish feeder. Let's have a lagoon-specific section under buildings. That way we can keep all these ideas together. So you said new feeders there. What sort of things would you have then if we're going to have new lagoon feeders? Give me some examples that we can have in there. Oh, blimey. I'm having to go back now. Sarko has the... If the Cenozoic DLC was to have come to reality, I hope that Smilodon human kill animations to be based off evidence of them attacking the back of the head and the eyes. So this would be under the Cenozoic expansion. So animals. And we've got Smilodon, obviously. I mean, Smilodon is a big one. One of the most popular Cenozoic period animals, so I would expect it to be in there. Nothosaurus would be a good option for the base game. As a... Well, do we think we would have it in the base game, or do we think we could put that in our semi-aquatic DLC? I think there's an argument for both, to be honest, Rex King. So you get free choice here. DLC or base game? Is benches there? Benches, decorations? No. So we'll put this as guest decorations, because that's kind of what they are. They're literally just benches for people to use. Benches. Actually, I'm going to expand that to be like benches or seating in general, because there is plenty of beached aquatics. Like a mosasaur could try to find more space, but would get stuck on land and would need the rangers to help it back in. See, again, the lagoons have a steep side, so we would, for them to be able to be beached, we would have to add in specific lagoon sections that add like land. Placeable lagoon islands, which is good. I mean, it's one of the things I'm actually going to be mentioning in the video I'm doing next week, so that makes sense to have. Caprosuchus and Eriops. Is Eriops big enough? I thought Eriops was pretty small, because that's the other thing. If the animals are too small, there's no point having them in. Caprosuchus we could definitely do. Caprosuchus. Hello, Lions. What about Archaeopteryx? This would count as a new animal. I don't think it's classified as a dinosaur, is it? So we'll put it in. Oops. Put it in here. Archaeopteryx. Definitely have our Archaeopteryx in there. Are natural lagoons up there? So I don't actually think natural lagoons work very well. Primarily because they're too big. The maps where we have, the maps in Jurassic World Evolution 2 where they have natural lagoons, the natural lagoons are just really badly implemented. And considering we're already, we've got placeable deep water, I don't really think we need natural lagoons anymore. Like turtles, tuna, shrimp, krill, rays, etc. Interesting mix. So, if you're going to have completely new feeder varieties for lagoon animals, Caleb, would you implement a system where specific animals have preferred feeding options for their sort of enrichment and general good health? Would that be something you would implement? Tuna, jellyfish, turtles, krill, etc. Ooh, crikey. I'm trying to keep up with people, but it's very busy today. I think the Spinoceratops needs redesign. Right. I think a good kill animation for the Dinosaurs and Hadrosaurus would be the classic death roll. Oh, the death roll is a classic. It could be a failure version where the herbivore successfully fights off the Dinosaurs. I mean, that would be a rarity. Moser, I meant Moss. Moser. Don't worry, CNS, I know what you meant. Hello, Turbo, so welcome to the stream. Even though it's impossible to try to make this game a reality when their license for the Jurassic games end. Exactly. Well, I mean, we're not making this as this is what it should be. What we're doing here is if we were in charge of it, what would we want to see? Eriops is relatively around the same size as Dimetrodon. Okay, so we could also include Eriops in our semi-aquatic pack. Eriops. So we need one more semi-aquatic animal in there. Possibly a wacky hybrid Carnoraptor. See, the Carnoraptor does make sense to me as a hybrid to add. Of course, all these are slightly... I think they're pretty much all carnivorous, the big ones. So maybe we could have some non-carnivorous hybrids as well. Yes, I would implement that, so it's Caleb. So, new system, creatures. So this would go under... My god. We're getting overly full here. Let's try and shift some things around a bit. So, challenge mode. I hate challenge mode. I really do. Tutorial. Animal enrichment. Oh, I think the music has stopped again. I'll put it on in a sec. So new diet options, insects for that. And we will place in some animals have preferred feeding types. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. And you could pretty much do that with a majority of the animals in game. Rescue my Smilodon, my cat. I would dare someone to get a cat and actually call it Smilodon so that they could shout, "Come here, Smilodon," outside. Cryonosuchus. Two possible skin models, the salamander and the axolotl. How big is Cryonosuchus CS? Because it's got to be over a certain size to make it worthwhile. And finally, for the semi-aquatic pack, the Simosuchus. Are we... I don't think it's entirely correct to call Simosuchus semi-aquatic. It's more of just a non-Mesozoic period animal. I don't think there's any... I think Prionosuchus is around the size of an alligator. Well, that works then. So, Prionosuchus. So that's our semi-aquatic pack. I'm surprised people didn't, come up with any dinosaurs like Irritator or something. Tapejara eats from fruit feeders, Oviraptor eats from egg feeders. So Jacob, you realise the whole Oviraptor eating as eggs and being an egg thief, that's been disproven now, right? And trees for dinos to headbutt. So I like that as an enrichment item. Interactive dinosaur toys / headbutting things. Maybe Simosuchus in the base game. See, I think actually it makes more sense to have it as a DLC animal, and have a DLC as like a pre-Mesozoic period DLC. Or non-dinosaur actually non-dinosaur DLC maybe. And then we could have Simosuchus. We need some more options for that. Child guest, we've already got down here. Jacob, I think. Yep, guest types, children. So we've already got children. Irritator, well, the new papers. What new papers would those be seen as? Have they discovered Irritator is another, dead species and it's something else? Because Irritator for me would be like definitely a new species that I would bring to the game. Irritator now has a pelican mouth. Okay. That's certainly unique. But to be honest, I kind of like that. Like, I think that's one of the biggest problems with Jurassic World Evolution 2 is they've got so many dinosaurs that are pretty similar and they haven't given them enough to make them distinctive from one another. It's one of the reasons why I don't like Maiasaura. Or why I don't like the fact there's so many hadrosaurids and iguanodontids in the game, because they're all basically the same, they're animated the same, and they're not given very many distinctive behaviors. Yep, Concavinator is down here. Concavinator's been one that's been down here from pretty much the beginning of when this was started. Let's... where are we? We're an hour in. Let's move away from sort of gameplay related things. Let's think about... we've got some species in pretty much everywhere, so that's fine. Let's think about the design elements bit, because that's somewhere where we've got a lot of room to add stuff in. So building sets. What sort of building sets would we like to see in game, or decorations? Ideas for decoration or decoration sets. Let's come up with some. I really like the idea of the Gothic one. I think that was Neron who suggested that. I love the idea of a Gothic set. What about biomes as well? Because we haven't got very many of those written down. We've got weather and we've got seasons, so that's fine. Heatwave, storms, and blizzards. Humans. Random idle animations. Okay. An Aboriginal building set. I'm not sure I would do that as a whole building set because I think that would be quite difficult to do. But I love the idea of it being a decoration specific set. Like have some Aboriginal inspired statues and stuff. Aboriginal. So let's put that one in there. A ruined building set. That's unique. I like that idea. Like a ruined or abandoned park set. That would certainly make it a bit easier for people to make, specifically abandoned parks. Because at the moment it's quite difficult to achieve. Give dinosaurs with a baby counterpart a parental boost. Can't be able to get a scar on its face in fights or even damaging fences like Tori. So we've actually got an option under skins to have an optional system that you can apply scars to dinosaurs that deliberately make them scarred if you like. So I think that you could create Toro however you liked in that case. Maybe an actual beach where the map is entirely an island, no random bits and bobs, and you can build on the beach. So I like that idea as a biome. Savannah, swamp, wetland, beach / coastal. And obviously if we have the deep water tool, then that would mean that we would be able to make use of the actual sea for our deep water enclosures. With maybe Aboriginal styling painters, Australian dinosaurs, Australian Aboriginal. So we put this in under statues with stylization. I think somewhere I actually have a picture of a killer whale that I drew as a kid in an Aboriginal style. I shall have to find it at some point. You could take abandoned shops, restaurants, or ruined amenities. Yeah, so obviously an abandoned or ruined park building set, you'd have every single building be able to look like that. So if children guests are invincible, I'm gonna be sad. So I think if you were going to have children guests in the game, I think you would, by all accounts, have to make them you'd have to make sure they couldn't ever die, because child death is generally something that turns your the age rating of the game from basically if you have child death, makes the rating way too high. And in fact, some places you can't get it rated at all with child death. It's one of the reasons the newer Fallout games, you can't kill children, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to sell it in a lot of the parts of the world. So children wouldn't be able to die if we were going to try and sell this, basically. How about little burrows small ankylosaurs can crawl in? We do have under the tools section cave cutting or making caves for animals, so I think that would cover that. No child murder, yeah. Unfortunately, no. If you're gonna make money, you can't have child murder. This is not prehistoric planet where we try to kill every baby in the program. Oddly enough, so locations we've got some space for as well. We've got Australia down, Florida. No one came up with anything for Asia yet. The Azores was down. Maps. All 5. What does that mean? Oh, right. I think there was someone saying all of the original 5 deaths maps. Okay, and environmental. Sorry, I'm just doing a little bit of cleaning up as well, so you've got plenty of room to put stuff in. Guest decorations, benches and seating, Aboriginal statues with an Aboriginal feel. Good. I have an idea for an Australian map in the outback with that one big rock in the background. You mean Ayers Rock? Burger. A bomb's been planted in our ammo supply. CNS, I'm not sure you meant that to be here. Have diversity in humans been added, like people in wheelchairs or crutches or with a blind walking stick? I mean, you want the game to feel alive. That is a good point. Diversity in the guest types. We have to accept that, disabled people would want to come to the park as well. That is a very important point, Jacob. Considering Dane himself is visually impaired, I probably should have thought about that. Nothing. Another one could be a taiga map in the Himalayas. Welcome to the Himalayas. I love the abominable experiment. So, map in the Himalayas. With Everest in the background, it would certainly be quite an impressive map. That's for sure. Indian style decorations, we've already got that. I'm sure we had that. Neron mentioned it. Sure, you've got that. Yes, we got it as a building style DLC, Indian style building set. There you go. Maybe a below sea level map in a giant biodome. Caleb, that's pushing realism a bit. I'm not sure why. I mean, I would love to see like a giant undersea biodome map. It would be really cool, but at the same time, I don't think it's entirely realistic. Let's make it more realistic by adding proper queues outside attractions. Well, obviously, if we're going to have, we've got rides and stuff being added, basic rides. Obviously, I suppose you'd have to have queuing areas for those. A map in Kenya. I like that as an idea for a savannah map. Kenya. I like how all over the world we're going with this as well, because that's another criticism I have of Jurassic World Evolution 2, is that in terms of locations, it's basically America primarily, and they give you a couple of token other locations, but you know, it definitely needs to be all around the world. Well, they need to expand around the world. Okay, but a map that has the ability to build a lagoon in the ocean with special attractions. Maybe in challenge where anything was killed by a lion. What? Why would that be a again, Barger? That's a very weird idea. I suppose it could be like a random event, but also that's a very bizarre random event. Help, a lion has broken out into our dinosaur park. Lagoon fences so different species can exist in a single lagoon. I definitely agree with that one. Placeable lagoon islands. Lagoon walls for separating lagoons. Actually, again, that's another thing I talk about in my upcoming video, is lagoon walls. Nice to see I'm not the only one that has these ideas. We've got quite a bit of space in terms of species as well. We're good, Joshua. How are you? Maybe to make it more realistic, we had the ability to have marine reptiles put on shows like in SeaWorld. Barga, that's generally frowned upon these days. In fact, I believe most SeaWorlds no longer do shows with animals, so that would actually make it less realistic, not more. How about a New Zealand map? Which would be volcanic. I love that idea. New Zealand. Possible hybrid Edmontaguanodon. That's a mouthful. A map in the British Isles. Oh yeah, we've got to have Britain, obviously. Honestly, I think the GB map should be in Scotland, though. It just seems like the most likely place for it, because it's got the most amount of like spare empty land, and you've got some nice backdrops there. I don't see anywhere in the south of the country that's big enough, apart from maybe Cornwall. Submarine attraction for lagoons and deep waters. Yeah, we can put that in under... I think we put it under river cruise or submarine tour. There we go. Attraction accidents. That's kind of more like an event, isn't it? sure where we would put that in. Siberian map with the Ural mountain range in the background. The only problem with maps that are intensely cold like that is it's just not... You're going to have a lot of problems with getting most of the species in the game to be comfortable there. I mean, yes, some dinosaurs were warm-blooded, but at the same time, the world was generally tropical for them. So I think completely snow-covered maps or really cold Arctic maps are just not realistic. It would be nice to see, but it just wouldn't be a realistic map for them. And maybe bias but an island map, because you've basically, in any of the views, it's basically the Irish Highlands. And we could also, we'll put down that as another option. Maybe it could be an interesting scenario due to the fact of how cold it is. The game lets you only have feathered dinosaurs. Ah. Be a bit annoying though to use as a general map, wouldn't it? So it's more of a specific challenge mode, really. So we'll put this under alternative parks. Siberian challenge with feathered only species. Roman style or Greek style. I love that. I think instead of like specifying which civilization, we'll just go like the ancient civilization style. Civilization. And this is, we're obviously talking about pillars here. Roman pillars, Greek statues, etc. Feather and code feathering. I don't know why, I just want to see a fluffy Spinosaurus like a penguin. A fluffy Spino. I'm actually curious now to put that into the AI image generator I use to see what comes out. If I put in fluffy and Spinosaurus and see what comes out. I might do that after this. I go to my AI image generator and put feathered and Spinosaurus and see what comes out, and I'll post it to the community tab. A Tyrannosaurid pack. What would you have in your Tyrannosaurid pack, Burger? Actually, by the way, since I've got people here, what are people's opinions of AI generated images? Because the next video I'm doing for the channel, in order to get some of the images for it, I have had to use an AI image generator. But I'm just curious as to what people's opinion of it is. I mean, it won't be monetized or anything, so I'm not going to be earning money from it. In fact, I don't monetize any of our videos, actually, at the moment. So, I'm just curious what people's opinion of it is, if it's being used for the purpose of basically giving you an idea of what it is I'm talking about. For sub-attraction, instead of being destroyed as with a tour, it being destroyed, mauled, eaten by the marine reptile, and gates between lagoon parts. They could add Guanlong, Lithranax, and Tarbosaurus. See, but I almost think that Tarbosaurus should be a dinosaur that we introduce, since it is the Asian T-Rex. I honestly think Tarbosaurus should be in game already. We really haven't listed down that many species. Mapusaurus in the base game? I think Mapusaurus is one that you could probably put in a DLC, actually. Chaos Theory Aftermath, like the far future of the Jurassic Universe, descendants of dinosaurs from the movies. Interesting idea. Let's actually focus on filling up some of these our species options, rather than coming up with new DLCs or whatever. So we need 50 returning animals. We've got space for 2 more new animals, as in dinosaurs here. I think our others section, so hybrids, non-Mesozoic and Mesozoic era sort of randoms, I think we're pretty fine for those. We need to fill up our pterosaurs a bit, and I think we've got some room for some new aquatics that can go in. So let's have some options for new and returning dinosaurs and new and, well, actually just new aquatics and pterosaurs. Prognathodon is not a dinosaur, I don't think, is it? I'm good with my paleontological history, but I'm not that good. So some of these animals you might need to explain. Sea monsters, like not like kraken, but cool deep sea critters. Nope, it's a mosasaurid. Oh, I just downloaded the mod for that one. Okay, yeah, actually, I would agree with that. Prognathodon. Okay. Microraptor. We could almost put that under as a pterosaur, really, couldn't we? Microraptor. What about returning species of dinosaurs? Obviously, things like Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, T-Rex, Velociraptor, Spinosaurus, Nasutoceratops are classics. They're going to have to be in there. Why is that just gone wrong? So Nasutoceratops, Brachiosaurus, Triceratops. So yeah, let's focus on our returning and new dinosaurs. Let's move away from DLCs and such. Cannot get this. Australovenator coming back with a remodel. Is the Australovenator really that popular an animal in JWE2? Because these returning animals should be like the absolute most popular ones. Yeah, Cena, so we're not talking about... We're literally just focusing on species now. I like that idea as unique animations. Yeah, we're just talking about species and stuff that we're going to have in-game now. So give it a light coat of feathers and more Megaraptorian features to make it more distinct. Alright, we'll put Australovenator in. Australovenator with feathers. We can only pick 50 returning species out of all of the animals in game though, so be careful. Hypsilophodon as a new species, says the Explodinator. That would be our last new vegetarian. Algiceratops, the skull that killed the Indoraptor. We've got, so under as new, we've got Diabloceratops. I think given that we've got Diabloceratops, I don't think we would need Algiceratops. Algiceratops is probably one we would have in a DLC down the line. Also, you forgot to remove Utyrannus from the carnivores. Oh yes, we've got Utyrannus now, haven't we? I think obviously Utyrannus would have to be another one of those returning. Deinonychus. That's generally, I think we can generally put that in as a classic. So Deinonychus. Deinonychus remodeled. I agree. I don't like the fish version myself. I mean, we've got a thing here saying don't just copy-paste previous games models, so... No, stay as a derpy tadpole. I mean, I kind of like the way that it looks. I mean, it's not great, but... I think if you just adjust how some of the frills are, I think it would look alright. To be honest, I don't like the Atrociraptors. Shall we have a thing? Shall we actually have a... Let's have an element. Let's have a bin. Let's have a bin option here. Right. The species that we would not have, we'll have an option here for species not coming back. I would not bring back the Atrociraptors myself. Atrociraptors. I don't see the point of them. Personally. So the Atrociraptors will go in the bin. Not coming back. Yeah, they're just bulkier raptors with a brick for a head. That's literally all that's different about them. So Caleb, we're actually not focusing on new buildings or anything like that at the moment. We're just doing species, but I do have in here already buildings, micro enclosures, a bug house. So we've already got that in there. Jacob, you live under the impression that this is a democracy, but it's not. It's a dictatorship with me at the head. I think we could bring back Morris intrepidus, but remade from the ground up to be more like the real animal, so around human sized, and the current model could be the baby. I don't know. Is Morris intrepidus that important? I don't think it is. I'm going to need further convincing to bring back Morris intrepidus, if I'm honest. Should they have an explanation as to why it changed models? When is anything like that explained in Jurassic World? I'm feeling a bit aggrieved. Where's our returning herbivores? Come on, folks. I'm seeing a lot of carnivores here. Where's our herbivores? Do none of you make herbivores? And you just make carnivore-only parks? Hello, Neuron. An undo button. I agree, an undo button would be helpful. Woo her. Yes, I agree with that one. That one should definitely come back. Whoops. It's one of the earliest tyrannosaurids and is an important step in the evolution of tyrannosaurs. But we've got Proceratosaurus for that. And in fact, Proceratosaurus should probably be on here as a returning. Galleys, well, galleys are obviously going to... They're a classic animal, so they have to come back. Gallimimus. Brachy we've already got. Sinosauropteryx as a return. Again, I don't see myself using the Sinosauropteryx at all because it's just too little. Therizinosaurus would have to return. Again, I think I would probably put that in as a classic just simply because it's gotten such a fan following now. So Therizinosaurus. Dinosaurus we've already got down as a return. Pyroraptor as a return. Yeah, I would agree with that. Pyroraptor. Euoplocephalus. By what I mean, Jacob, is that I have final say. You know, I've got the veto here. So I am taking all of your opinions in line here, but I think I'm not going to take all of them without perhaps challenging people to give me a reason as to why. Myosaurus, because we hate it so much that we love it. I don't agree, Neuron. I would actually say Myosaura is one animal that will not be coming back. I hate Myosaura. It needs to go in the bin. There is no point in it. The only reason anyone cares about Myosaura now is because it was the first dinosaur where we had definite proof they laid eggs. That's the only thing it's famous for. There's no other reason for it. We need a basic hadrosaur, but we got so many other basic hadrosaurs and iguanodontids. You know, let's have some returning. We're going to have iguanodon. We're going to have Corythosaurus. We're going to have Parasaurolophus. Whoops. Cancel. I am surprised no one has said Parasaurolophus already. Parasaurolophus. And if you want a basic hadrosaurid or iguanodontid, you'll just use iguanodon, won't you? Ankylodocus, we've already got down in the hybrids. Lambiosaurus. We've already got Lambio written in here as one of our 5 new herbivores. Bring back Edmontosaurus, but remodeled to be the absolute unit it was in real life. Edmontosaurus. And we're remodeling that. Muttaburrasaurus. Caleb is still arguing for the return of Morus Intrepidus. Shan't. Shatungosaurus should probably be in the game, but we don't have any more room in our new species. Let's nudge the new animals up to 12, and then we can have Shatungosaurus in here, because I really do think Shatungosaurus should be there. It shall stay and peck your eyes out. Caleb getting very protective. What about the... So I'm curious what people's opinions are of the... I think it's 3 or 4 Stegosaurians. Huangosaurus, Chunkingosaurus, Gigant Spinosaurus, and Kentrosaurus that are all pretty similar to one another in terms of their like overall look. Yeah, we've already got Spinosaurus. Don't worry, that's coming back as a classic. Remove all of them other than the Kentrosaurus. Wow, Barger, that's harsh. I love the Huangosaurus. Don't worry, we've got Quetz coming back and it can walk, Neron. Myragea would be nice as a new Stegosaurid. Yep, we've already got that one down on our list, Rob. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm bringing back Huangosaurus because I think it's a cool animal. And have you seen the skins for the current Huangosaurus? There are so many really nice ones. I think we have to have Kentrosaurus in because obviously it's a Jurassic Park Corporation Genesis species, so we do kind of need to have it there. But not coming back, I don't think I would bring back Chunking because it's too much like Huangosaurus and Kentrosaurus. And I'm not sure I'd bring back Gigant Spinosaurus either. Pachyrhinosaurus. Ah, Pachyrhinosaurus to come back. Yep, I would agree with that. Pachyrhinosaurus. A new carnivore to have Torvosaurus or Saurophaganax. I would agree with Torvo, not Saurophaganax, because there are still some people that think Saurophaganax could be a relative of Allosaurus, so I think Torvosaurus would be a better option there. I think I would also have as a new carnivore Daspletosaurus. Because Daspletosaurus is another one of those big names. I think Megaraptor could be a new carnivore. Pachycephalosaurus. Pachycephalosaurus would have to come back as a classic. Cephalosaurus. Tyrannosaurus. Get Morris on there. He's my murderous Morris. No. Morris Intrepidus is not coming back. In fact, I'm putting it here. Morris Intrepidus is going in the bin. There's no point it being in. Remove Dracorex. Oh, that. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Dracorex goes in the bin too. But if we're removing Dracorex, we have to have Homalocephaly coming back. Cephaly. Screw it, democracy vote. Should Morris return? Say aye. It's in the bin, Jacob. It's not coming back. Fine. Morris comes back. When democracy doesn't win, use peer pressure. Make it realistic. Okay, I will agree with it if you're going to make it realistic. Or true to the fossils. Because the one in Jurassic World is so inaccurate, which is one of the reasons I don't like it. The other reason being you can't flippin' see them half the time. Right, come on. We need to complete our lists of returning species here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we've got quite a bit of room. Yeah, we need the sauropods. So what sauropods are coming back? I think we have to have Dippy. Diplodocus has to come back. I would actually be tempted to put in the bin Apatosaurus. Just because I think the Apatosaurus is boring. Dreadnoughtus remodeled. I agree with that. With the remodel. Not the Kamara or a better model. I would bring back the Kamara but give it a better model. We need a Titanosaur. Well, I would bring back Alamosaurus, personally. It's one of the few nice-looking sauropods in the game. So I think if we're going to have Alamosaurus, that's our Titanosaur. Isosaurus, we don't have any more room for new herbivores. We're literally, if you want to have Isosaurus be added, you're going to have to get rid of one of the new herbivores that you've added in. I'm being very strict on this. 6 new herbivores, 6 new carnivores. You've already filled up your 6 new herbivores, so if you want Isosaurus, you're going to have to get rid of something. Anyone want to make him add 7 more? No, we've got to have some limits, Jacob. We can't just add every dinosaur in existence. We've got to be stern with ourselves. 6 new herbivores, 6 new carnivores. That's all you're getting. I guess Isosaurus can be added in an expansion pack like the Indian pack or the Badlands pack. See, we do have a DLC adding the Indian style building set, so we could add Isosaurus to that. Give it like have a freebie dinosaur in there. I would allow Isosaurus to be added in as a freebie dinosaur. I'm trying to think about the other... Majungasaurus as a return. Even though I personally hate the Majunga. It is one of those dinosaurs from Madagascar. It's one of the few they do have, so I'd be okay with it returning. Metri we've already got, Caleb. I'm trying to think of other carnivores in the classics department. I think we're full. A Baryonyx remodel for... Yep, we've already got that down. What about all the small carnivores? So, Herrerasaurus. We're bringing Herrera back. Better Troodon with feathers. Okay. Herrera with a remodel. Coelophysis, I definitely think as a Triassic animal needs to come back. But I think it needs a remodel, personally. I think the one we've got in game at the moment looks a bit too much like a Compy. Dilophosaurus Dilophosaurus obviously is in there as a classic. But I think we should also have an adult variant as well as the juvenile variant. And finally clear up that total mistake that everyone makes about the movie as a result. I say we cut Compy from the game. No problem there. Compy's go in the bin. Remember that idea of controlling dinosaurs? I was thinking of controlling them like how you drive cars, except you can break. I just don't see the point in doing that, CNES, because this isn't a multiplayer game, so it would serve no purpose. JP Troodon equals prehistoric crackhead. Wow. I'm just trying to think of other big dinosaur names that we haven't spoken about yet. What about all the ceratopsians? Obviously, Triceratops has to come back. But what about Pentaceratops, Torosaurus, Styracosaurus? What of those are coming back? I'm sure there's another one. Oh, Sinoceratops as well. Nasuto we've already got in the classics department. Neron, it has to come back because it's such a big part of Jurassic World now. So Nasuto has to come back. But Styracosaurus, Pentaceratops. Surely some of those have got to come back as well. Personally, I would bring back the Styracosaurus, but I would remodel it because the current model is a bit iffy. Sinoceratops are classics too, right? I don't know. I've personally never liked the Sinoceratops. I always thought it was too obese. Caleb, we're not talking about new hybrids at the moment. We already have enough hybrids. I think we've got 8. So I think we're good for hybrids. Not to mention the game that we've already got the inbuilt make your own hybrid system, so we don't need that many invented hybrids for the game because we're going to let people make their own. I think Sino is fine, but Styracosaurus, Penta, and Pachyrhinosaurus need a remodel. Okay, so Pentaceratops with a remodel. Keep the Sinoceratops as it is. Dryosaurus needs to be in there, definitely. And I think we also need to have our Struthiomimus has got to be there. How many have we got? Because we've got to do 25 precisely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We've got 4 more returning species of herbivore that we can bring. So, and there's quite a lot we haven't mentioned yet. Nodosaurus, Archaeornithomimus. Yangchungosaurus as a new carnivore. I would go with that. I would agree with that, yeah. So we've got 4 more herbivores to return. I think we could not have Nodosaurus come back. But I think if we're not going to have Nodosaurus come back, I think we need to have Polycanthus. We have to have Polycanthus because it's a British species, and none of those herbivores are British. I don't think we need Archaeornithomimus. Struthi we've got. I'm racking my brains trying to think of what herbivores we're actually missing here. Bear with me. I will, on another page, bring up JWE2 dinosaur list. Database. Jurassic World Evolution 2. Right. Oh, right. We've got Nigersaurus. What about Nigersaurus? Niger and Amarga. I would say the Amargasaurus is. I feel like we need both of them. So that's, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24. So that's 24 so far. Triceratops we've already got in our classics. What about Oranosaurus? No one has mentioned Oranosaurus yet. I think Oranosaurus I would have back if it was remodeled. No need for Oranosaurus, says Caleb. Oranosaurus remodeled to be less accurate. Well, that's what I mean. If I was going to have a Rhino back, I would make it the sail-backed version and remove that stupid hump. Because the hump is just ugly. And honestly, there's not that much evidence to say that it was definitely a hump or definitely a sail. So let's have a look. What we've got: Giga down, yes. Spino, Majunga. Oh, Cryolophosaurus. Would we have Cryolophosaurus back? We have 25 in there now. So we would have to be careful. I think Cryo needs a remodel, but we would have Cryo back. Okay. With a remodel. What about Albertosaurus? We're up to 16 there now. No for Albertosaurus. Alberto, but with a remodel on the JPOG screen. Albertosaurus would be good with a less Rex-like model. Okay, let's have it down with a remodel then. Combies we're removing. Corythosaurus we've already got down. Troodon, Apato we're not having. Matabara, Gigant. Gigant, Spino we're not having back, are we? No. So Gigant, Spino can go in there. Right, Syntausaurus. I honestly don't think we need Syntausaurus. I just don't think it's necessary. I think Syntau could come back in like an Asian dinosaur pack or something. So I don't think we need Syntau back. Euoplosophilus we've already mentioned. Barry we've mentioned. Oh, Monolophosaurus from Camp Cretaceous. I think Monolopho we can have back because we need some small carnivores. I think Monolophosaurus we can have. I would remodel it and give it feathers just to make it a bit more distinctive. Suchomimus we've already got. Brachy we've got. Myosaurus in the bin. Olorotitan. See, Olorotitan is a really nice looking hadrosaur. Okay. Olorotitan has to come back. But that means we're up to 26 herbivores returning, which means we can only have 24 returning carnivores. Stegs, we've already got Polacanthus, we've got Iguanodon, Dreadnoughtus, we've done Megalosaurus. I think Megalosaurus needs to come back because it's a famous dinosaur. It's the first dinosaur, so Megalosaurus has to be there. Ichthyonodosaurus we're not having back, so Nodo goes in the bin. Carno is coming back as a animal. We've already discussed Penta, Dracoquetz. Archaeornithomimus is not coming back, so that's going in the bin. Archaeornithomimus. Oh god. My spelling today. There you go, Archaeornithomimus. Dimetrodon, we've got Silo, Allo, Herrera, we went through. Ankylosaurus. We haven't even mentioned Ankylosaurus, but that's a classic. It has to come back. Ankylosaurus. Oh, Cerato. Yeah, Cerato has to come back. So we're up to 20 of 24. Troceraptor we're putting in there. What about Kakarodontosaurus? It's the other big theropod we haven't mentioned yet. Kakarodontosaurus. What do people think? Are we bringing Kakarodontosaurus back? Are we going to throw it in the bin? I think this... Yes, keep Kakarodontosaurus. It needs a remodel, though. Kakarodontosaurus. Oops. Kakarodontosaurus. With a remodel. Oh, and yeah, Acro has to come back as well. So that's us up to 22. Cerato. Oh, Minmai. Poor little baby Minmai. We've left behind Minmai as the small little ankylosaur. Actually, let's... Just having a look if there's any on here that we should have back as classics. I think Corythosaurus, since it was in Jurassic Park 3, we could argue it has to come back as a classic. That would leave us space to have in Minmai. And that way we're not breaking any rules. Parasaurolophus we've discussed. Dryosaurus we've discussed. Kinjausaurus, the Pinocchio Rex. Do we want that back? I find it's a bit similar to Albertosaurus for me, or Megalosaurus. I don't really use it very often in Jurassic World Evolution 2. I think if we're going to have Kinjal, I think we should make it feathered. Kinjalsaurus. And give it feathers. That way it would be like really distinctive then. Australovenator, I think we've already mentioned. Yep. Stiggy Moloch. I think that has to go in as a classic because Fallen Kingdom. Can we remove Tylosaurus? So you wouldn't have Tylosaurus come back. Interesting. Fletcher is Rajasaurus. If we're going to have Rajasaurus as a new species, you'll have to get rid of something. Raja would probably replace Torvo or Yangchungo in terms of size. Or Concavenator. So if you're going to have Rajasaurus, you'd need to remove, I think, Torvo. Alamo we've already mentioned. Sinosauropteryx we're not having back either. Oh no. There's an argument going on in chat right now. Well, luckily for me, it is 11 o'clock now, so I've been going for 2 hours. So I can I can escape the argument of dinosaurs being thrown in bins and probably end the stream here. Again, I like the fact that we're continuing with this and adding lots more information. I think I shall save this. All changes saved. So I'm going to keep this and we can continue it on in maybe a couple more months' time. See what extra things people think. Can we just remove all compy-sized creatures? I would certainly do that, Barger. So next week is there's going to be a big video out, which is basically going to be what I would do if I was in charge of Jurassic World Evolution 2 going forward for like another year of development. It's going to take quite a while to make that video. It'll probably be out on Wednesday or Thursday if I'm lucky. And yeah, that's going to be lots of stuff in there. So I hope I get lots of people checking that out. I want to thank everyone for tuning in for this. It's been a really busy stream, so thank you. I know it's not the usual thing we do at Triclaw Gaming, but I'm glad people showed up to add their thoughts. I'm going to end the poll. So 69%. Well done, everyone. 69%. Well, good. 69% of people said there should be a Jurassic World Evolution 3. Interesting. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope the rest of you have very good evenings. Goodbye, Jacob, Barger, Rickrolled, Caleb was here. Who else was here? Neron was here. CNES Dracosaur's been here for the whole thing pretty much. I'm sure I'm missing some people. Evolution Spinosaurus. And all of the rest. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. See you in the next video. And until then, stay safe and good night.